I came across you because you were dancing. And it feels like there's a connection between accepting that not everybody's going to like the way you dance, along with accepting that not everybody's going to like the way you predict. So I thought I want to talk to this woman because
Of
she's a
course.
lot more than her predictions, you know?
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
But that aside, in the past 3 to 6 months, you have
Mhm.
predicted events as momentous and as specific as Trump's presidency, changes to the US Constitution, the Disney fire, Ariana Grande falling sick, planes falling out of the sky, large black holes opening up in the middle of the ground. Can you tell me what it feels like when the visions come to you in the first place?
Yeah, I think that's really important to share that because there's a lot of misinformation, which I hate that word, but misconceptions around psychics in general. So to answer your question, psychic information is neutral. Like that's a huge thing because one of the reasons why I started dancing was because people were like, "Oh, you're being too scary. You're presenting it in a way that's fear-based." And I'm like, "What?" Because to me, these things that I'm seeing, number one, I know them to be true. They're not made up because as a rule, spirit doesn't lie. And it's neutral. Because if you think about it, think of the universe basically. And the same energy that knows how to make the intelligence that knows how to make the wind blow or the waves to move or the grass to grow or the trees to grow buds, that same intelligence that we all have inside of us and in the universe and in earth knows what's coming and
Right.
it's intelligence. So it has to be neutral. It doesn't make me feel afraid. It doesn't make me worry, but the receivership, sometimes how people perceive it in their own energy is what makes it scary.
Imagine that you are overwhelmed and worn out, lying on the living room carpet, noticing the crumbs that need sweeping, the toys that need putting away, and the fascinating feeling of nearly losing your own mind. And then imagine that in that moment, you get the sneaking sense that you were meant for more, but that it would be scary, weird, and probably alienate you from a lot of the people you know. Imagine that sneaking suspicion was that you were psychic and that you would fall apart completely if you didn't finally start taking it seriously. That's basically what happened to Jen Abra, now known to her nearly 80,000 Instagram followers since she went viral for predicting Trump's presidency, as the dancing medium. A Canadian married mother of four who quit a decade long career as a kindergarten teacher, Jen has learned very quickly that people often confuse predictions for preferences and that internet celebrity as a psychic medium comes at a price. On today's podcast, we're talking about how she found herself as the dancing spirit medium, how the predictions come to her, and how much control she really has over any of it. It felt to me like you were making predictions that you knew could scare people, and you were being
Yep.
compassionate about their potential response. Your face is showing compassion, not fear mongering.
Yeah. That's a
You know.
common thing that I get though. You're a fear I haven't gotten it in a while, but
So when you do make predictions, do you meditate? Do you focus on a topic? Do you just go to sleep and suddenly you
yeah.
know that Trudeau is going to be out?
Okay, so it's different for an individual. When I do readings for people one on one, there's nothing ever bad that ever comes in. Like I'm not allowed to say you're gonna die alone, something bad's gonna happen to you, you have cancer, blah blah blah. Like I can't ever do that. It doesn't come in. But for some reason it's like almost like I'm a warning signal or to prepare people for something. Do you
For
know what I mean?
other events.
But how I receive it's received. Psychic information is received.
Can you be sitting here right now and
Yes.
something's going to come to you?
It can, yes.
You can't control when.
No, I can't. I can't control any of it. So when I try to get something, like the other day when I posted a great leader will fall, that's not really the thing information I get. It'll be like something more specific, right? But that because I tried hard to get something. Because people are like, I miss your predictions. I'm like, I don't have any. I don't have any for like a month.
Right,
And
I'm
people are
not in charge of when it
yeah,
comes.
I can't control it. And so it can come in a couple different ways. It can come when you're randomly like I'm talking to you. It can come when I'm driving. It can come when I'm meditating. It can come when I do it's called the gateway experience. So there's a frequency that alters your brain waves and gets you in an altered state of consciousness. Like I don't know how much I can say on here, but sometimes if I do microdosing or mushrooms,
We talk about that all the time.
okay, great. Because I
I'm
did
curious
mushrooms.
about it. I haven't done any myself, but I
Yeah.
know a lot of people say, and look, this has been around for thousands of years.
Okay.
So a
I
lot of
wasn't
people
sure.
say if you're responsible in your
Yeah.
use of it, you can get real emotional and psychological benefits out of it. I believe that 100%.
So that's how I got the Trump prediction actually. was
Really?
from the mushrooms, not like full blown mushrooms, but like a macro dose kind of thing. And I just decided I was going to do it. And I laid in bed all afternoon and I was like this, and I had my hand on the book, and I was like, Trump's going to win. Just a whole bunch of things. So the key is maybe like a big, broader sense of how I get it. It's altered state of consciousness. It's either a small one or a big one.
So like a glass of wine isn't gonna do it?
Yeah, that's more with the dead people, actually.
Oh, really? Okay. What about a martini? Martini gives
I don't
you
drink martinis. I'm a margarita in Florida kind of girl. That's it.
margaritas. Got it. Got it. Got it.
Yeah,
All right. This is good to know because that way you can have a menu of options
that's right.
for what your mood is that day.
That's
Mine
right.
goes something like if I'm cranky or I'm feeling like nobody's taking care of me, I need a sandwich. If I'm feeling good, I need some alcohol. And otherwise, I probably need like a diet. Like there's like three things on my menu, right?
Yeah.
I want to take a step back and say that I am totally open to all psychic phenomenon and everything related to mediumship and things that basically we can't see or explain. And I also don't expect perfection. Being Indian and born and raised in the US, this idea of just something as simple as astrology being respected but never believed 100%
Right.
has always made sense to me. And to me, it's not something that is ever, if I feel like it's performative, I'm not interested. But if I feel like it's genuine and it's going to be imperfect, that actually feels very real to me. I know you've gotten some flack from people who are, going to judge that not every prediction has been perfect.
Yep.
What is the worst part of being disbelieved online as a psychic?
It's not even the people that don't believe me. That's fine. I'm okay with if you don't believe me. If you're skeptical, it's fine. What I don't do well with is the bullying. It's not the disbelief. I don't care if you believe me or not. Because I learned from my mentor years ago, like 10 years ago, she's like, not everyone's going to believe in what you do. And you just have to stay true to what you know and just say it anyway.
I get that. So
Yeah.
are the attacks very personal?
It depends. Which again, with the dancing came in helps a little bit, but I thought it would, but it actually didn't. Like the other day with my Snow White one.
Yeah.
Like, come on, most innocent girl here doing a Snow White dance that's a trend on TikTok, and still like, and I had to turn the comments off. So, but this time it wasn't directed towards me. It was directed. They're like turning on each other. They're literally turning on each other. And I turned the comments off, and then I'm like, I'm gonna go check them again. And I went back today, and they're just gone. The hate comments to each other are disappeared, and I didn't block anyone this time. But they're turning on each other now.
So maybe they were ashamed of themselves?
I don't think Instagram caught wind of it because there was so much hate attacking each other. It was unreal. So I don't
I mean,
know.
part of me thinks, don't you have enough people in your real life who you can argue with that you don't need to argue with strangers on the internet that you're never going to meet?
That's a big thing. I guess it's been doing that. People have been doing that forever, like call them keyboard warriors or whatever. And you can't see their face, and so they feel like they can just say whatever they want to. And I don't. I'm going to sound very unprofessional here, but I see the same thing behind the scenes. Like, don't you have anything better to do? Like, your time is so precious, but people will save my video, comment it, come back and say nothing happened. Like, I had to go to my filters and type in banned words, and it was nothing and happened because it's horrible to be on the receiving end, and no one has. It's like their empathy is gone online.
Yeah. It's not as if it's not as if what you're saying is this is going to happen 100% of the time. I think what you're saying is this is a prediction that has come to me and I'm sharing it, right? And I'm not going to be 100% correct. Tell me about the connection to being a professional basketball player because I love the way that you laid this out.
That came to me. Like, I was driving in the car and I'm like, how can I explain this? Because in the past on TikTok, the psychics were predicting Kamala was going to win. I was like, but
You
when
didn't kill it.
when she lost, they were all trying to defend themselves. They kept saying, wait and see, wait and see. And I'm like, that's even more unprofessional than saying, I was wrong, or don't even say anything. Like, don't
Yeah.
say anything. You just got it wrong. It's whatever. It'll blow over. But the basketball thing was, I didn't want to be like that and being like, wait and see, because it's so exhausting to try to explain every single day how psychic information works. And I made sure that I didn't even say the scary parts of the prediction, right? So I didn't even say, I have it in notes still. So if it ever happens, hopefully it doesn't happen. But in the notes, I still have it as like a backup kind of thing to be like, hey, it happened on a different date. But the basketball thing was like sort of trying to give permission, even in your real life, not just as a psychic who puts things out there in your real life, right? Like, pretend, like, because I used the Michael Jordan thing because my husband that's his favorite basketball player, and just came to my head, right? I'm like, it's like, if you're Michael Jordan, And Michael Jordan is a really great basketball player, and he wins all these championships, which you correlate to them being your psychic predictions are right or whatever. And then what you do a really big one, you take a really big risk because I'm all about taking risks. And so was Michael Jordan, right? And so I take a risk and sometimes it pans out, sometimes it doesn't. And Michael Jordan, not perfect either. It's just a game. You're playing a game. You might lose the game, you might win the game. But if Michael Jordan loses the game, do you hate Michael Jordan now? You tell him he's
Is
you
he
know
just
what?
garbage?
Do you
Right. Not
bully
really.
him? Like,
No.
it's just a human being. Come on. I was like, no one is perfect. You're going to win things. You're going to lose things. You're going to whatever, So
I've been telling my kids since the day they were born that mommy doesn't like the word perfect. Mommy feels like it's kind of an ugly word. You know,
there's no
not a
such thing as
dirty
perfect.
word, but kind of an ugly word because it doesn't
There's no
mean
such
anything.
thing.
I don't want to hear that word.
The amount of demanding,
Yes.
the demanding
It's like an
to
unnecessary word.
not be perfect, but to explain yourself.
Exactly. And to feel
Explain
sorry for your lack
yourself.
of perfection.
I'm like,
You know? So
what?
I want to talk a little bit about your background, and then I want
Sure.
to talk about Trump and some of the predictions.
Okay.
We know that you are a Canadian woman, you are married, you are a mom of 4, and you worked as a kindergarten teacher for 10 years.
I did.
When
Okay.
did you know you were psychic?
Well, that's a really good question. I
As
started
long
out
as you
as a
like.
kindergarten teacher in a private school, and I love that so much. That was my life. Like, I ate, slept, and breathed that job. And then the ownership took over. I lost my job and I had to go to the school board. I thought that was my dream job. Absolutely not. When I got there, I was like, this is what I begged for. And this is what I dreamed about. This is horrific. And so I knew I was there for a reason. There was a little boy I needed to help for 2 years. And then once that was over, I ended up having anxiety so bad. It was debilitating anxiety. And I had to take a leave of absence. Once I was taking the leave of absence, I started taking classes because I started noticing signs. I started noticing, like, that song seems to be telling me something, or that license plate that I just saw seems to be giving me a message. It's going to sound weirder, trust me. Those numbers, like 555 everywhere, 888's everywhere. What is going on here? And I always equated to just like, okay, it was like my feelings or my knowings were just starting to get more sensitive because I was relaxed. I wasn't at school. I wasn't stressed out anymore. And, I started to notice, and I was like, these feathers started falling from the sky at recess. No birds. Okay. Like, it went,
That's creepy.
and like dimes were like falling out of the sky, literally falling out of the sky in my head. And I was like, what the hell's going on? So it just sort of prompted me, awoken me, I guess. And other things happened too. And I just walked in the day I returned to work and I handed my resignation. I said, I can't do this anymore, and started taking classes.
Was there
I
one
completely immersed myself in taking spiritual development classes, psychic development, mediumship, all of those.
was there one critical like tipping point?
I wish. No, there was a bunch of culmination of things, like all the events that happened. It was like they were leading me to quit my job to be able to do this. Everything was very orchestrated in a divinely magical kind of way.
Pushing you in this direction.
So I broke my arm the day before I had to go back to work. I got a couple car accidents. My van broke down. Like, on the way to work, there was just too many things. I'm like, okay, I'm done.
They were preventing you from going back to work.
I get it.
So
I get it.
then you started studying, and did you know you were going in the direction of being a psychic and being a medium, or were you just thinking, I want to study this and see what's going on?
Okay, so there was an event I went to. So it's a long story, but I ended up having a little breakdown. I had the breakdown, and
Like
on the floor.
anxiety, like a
Yeah,
panic
no, I
attack?
had like I would say mental health breakdown. Yeah, I'm on the floor, and all of a sudden, this voice comes out of nowhere, and I've never had this happen before. And the voice said very clearly, "Get off the floor. You have more to do." And I was like, who is talking to me right now? Because I'm just a normal mom making chicken nuggets and I need to clean my carpet because it's dirty. You know what I mean?
Right,
The kids
right.
are screaming in the background, but this ethereal voice comes out of nowhere. So after a bit, I noticed that this voice kept talking to me after, and I didn't think I was crazy, even though I just lost my marbles. I didn't think I was crazy. I had a feeling it was my grandma who had just died. And for about a month after, she's like, go here, go here, go to this place, go. I'm like, okay, grandma. So I ended up at a metaphysical store, and there was a group reading. And I don't know about mediums back here. I don't know about tarot readers. I don't know Reiki, none of this. Anyways, I end up signing up for a tarot reading. She says, you're not depressed, you're waking up. I go sign up for Reiki. What the hell's Reiki? I go to this. I swear I'm trying to monitor myself. I go to this group
You
reading.
don't have to monitor. I don't,
And
yeah.
the two mediums, they were local mediums. And one brought my grandma through, the one who told me to get there. And I witnessed a miracle. Like, the things that they were saying, I'm like, how the hell are they doing this? they're talking to nobody and they're telling them very specific things about their son who got in a car accident and they're bawling their eyes out. The voice said to me at that show, "You're going to quit your job and you're going to do this full time." So then that's how I got into that's how it happened.
There's a couple things I love about that story. One is that it's a grandma because I was super close to my
Yes.
maternal great aunt, who was my grandma's big sister, and I would call
Yep.
her Big Grandma. I mean, there is nothing about her that isn't the best thing ever. Her story, her
Yep.
smile, every single thing. So there's something about that matrilineal line and the strength of that connection, which if you know, you know.
Yep.
But the other thing I love about this is that I know as a mom, we're having your breakdown and you're saying it was a genuine breakdown. But
Yes.
even if it wasn't, even if it was just total exhaustion and
Yep.
you're lying on the carpet, I know exactly that you looked to the left and you thought, oh, my neck feels comfortable. And then you thought, oh, I have to vacuum that. I
Yeah.
know you thought that in that moment.
I did. It
And
was
it
the
makes me
stains.
mad. But
The
yeah,
stains on the carpet. Yeah.
yeah, there were stains on the carpet. You
Yep.
couldn't not look at it. It's a problem.
No.
It's a problem. We have to work on that, but that's topic
Yes.
for another episode.
It's the
So then you started studying. How long did it take till you felt comfortable sharing predictions with people or even until you went out to social media?
It was pretty quick.
What did your kids think
Oh,
about what was
well, in
going
the
on?
beginning, they thought I was crazy.
Really?
Yeah.
Were they
They've grown into
scared?
it now. No, they just thought it was weird. I don't know. My parents never said anything to me personally, but I knew it was like, what? Like you're quitting your job, a pension, you're giving up a pension, you're giving up benefits to what? Talk to dead people? That's kind of okay. Come on. That's a little bit out there. But I would say maybe I would say maybe a year before I came out of the closet. I call it the spiritual closet. I was doing readings at my home. People would come to my house for readings all the time. I started really, really quick. Yeah, it was fast.
So it seems like you sensed that there was something. You know, I interviewed someone else on the podcast like a year ago, Jenny
Mhm.
Marie. She had a TV show on TLC called Mama Medium. She talked about spending most of her life trying to deny what she
Ah,
knew she had. And then one day realizing she couldn't deny it. And then she went down the path of meditation and everything and figured out how she could strengthen and almost, I don't want to say control it to put words in her mouth,
no, that's
but
right. Yeah.
direct it, understand it, use it, strengthen it, make
Yes.
sense of everything
Yes.
that she knew she already had in her. So you talk a little bit about, going to get educated and trying a little bit of everything. It makes sense to me because when I hear these stories, people seem to need to hone their ability as well as understand it.
Yeah.
But the bigger question I have is what percentage of humans do you think have significant abilities that if they tried to develop, they could really see things?
Right. Everyone has intuition. Psychic development is intuition on steroids, where you would like hone it, understand what you're talking about, develop it consciously. Everyone. So not everyone, I guess, would be able to do that because there's their belief system. Like I don't believe in this. This is weird. They shove it down. They never touch it their whole lives. It's fine. It's but everyone has it. I guess of people who understand they have it, but I don't know. Only personally in my life, I would say maybe like 30%. I guess.
That's larger than I would expect.
Yeah,
I
but
think
it's
most people
more
have
now. Like, I
intuition
feel like it's
maybe.
more now. After 2020, I think that woke people up too.
Yeah. Well, I wonder if we're in a different moment in kind of the evolution of our species, as it were. One would hope because, man, things are falling apart so badly, you got to believe there's a reason. Let's talk a little bit about how you went viral. So
Yeah.
it seems you went viral for predicting Trump's presidency. What was that experience like? And do you want to tell me whether you support Trump or not? I think it's fascinating that people even asked.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So that was actually a goal of mine. And my intention has always been like to reach more people. That was always my intention. And I remember being stuck at like under 2,000 followers on Instagram for like 5 years. And I'm like, come on, what do I have to do? Like, just, I want to help more people. How am I going to get people to know who I am? And honestly, it was a very fateful day, which sounds like the most randomest, boringest day you could ever have. And you think it's just normal. I was supposed to pick up my son in my old hometown at McDonald's because he was with his friends. He's getting dropped off. He kept texting me, I'm an hour late. I'm going to be an hour late. I'm like, okay, fine. I'll just sit in the parking lot of McDonald's and wait for you. I was just sitting in the parking lot. And all of a sudden, this energy came over me in the car and said, do a TikTok about Trump winning. I was like, absolutely bleeping not. Like, are you crazy?
Parking lot of McDonald's.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was that. So that video is being filmed in the McDonald's parking lot. And because it had come from the mushroom, remember the mushroom had told me that Trump was going to be the president. So I had like a 95% confidence that this was going to happen because that intelligence doesn't lie. But then the human part of me is like, no,
That's
no.
scary. Yeah.
Yeah, I was terrified. I even said, and people came after me for saying I took a risk. Well, if you're taking a risk, then you're not a real psychic. And
God.
anyways, it was that video. So in the parking lot, it was like that intelligence sort of made me do this inspired action video.
Yeah.
No, that was it. It was like, say this, say this, say this, say, I'm like, okay,
And
put
then
it
what
out
was
there.
the
I was terrified of what was going to happen. Terrified.
did the internet explode overnight? What
I
happened?
don't know how long it took, but it was like, what? I have cooler predictions than this over the past years. And this is the thing. Like I would have done it sooner if I had known, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So
it's
it was just,
emotionally charged.
yeah.
And then you were proven right, and people wanted to know if you support Trump. First of all, I don't know that it's necessarily everybody's business who a psychic supports, right? But
Well,
do you
let
want
me
to
just
share
say I'm
whether you do?
Canadian. Like I'm
Yeah, and you
Canadian.
are Canadian.
So like people are like, well, you voted for Trump. And I'm like, actually I didn't
You
because I can't. Number one. And you need they conglomerate the prediction with an opinion and the prediction with like your bias, which are completely separate things, which could be why everyone said Kamala because they didn't know the difference between their bias and opinion and their gift. Because there's a difference, obviously. I don't know if I per se support him. I would, okay, in the beginning, I was a fan. In the beginning, I was like, YMCA. I have a Trump shirt, like daddy's home. Like no one caught it. I did a reel with my sweater like this and I flashed the Trump shirt and not one person came after me. I was like,
Wow.
what? I was ready for it to get killed. But over time, it's not a fan, it's not like a supporter. It's more of a curiosity of what is this dude doing? He kind of keeps me in like, what are you doing? Are you good or are you bad? Are you helping or are you not helping? Are you evil? Or are you an alien? It's just like this back and forth thing where I sort of like doubt my first instincts. I was like, this is because again, I feel like I'm gonna get in trouble, but like my feeling back then was it was better than the alternative. That was my personal feeling, not the psychic feeling.
So it sounds like though you don't have a strong opinion for or against him right now.
I try to be neutral. Like I said in the beginning, I was dancing to YMCA. Now I'm like, I
Well,
don't know about this guy. Like, yeah,
for the
it's
record, I've always been aggressively anti-Trump in every way, but not anti-Republican. I'm just horrible, disgusting people. That's just kind of a thing. So, but
that's what I mean. It wasn't like I love the guy, he's amazing, but it was more like I think this is better than what it would have been. This is what the feeling was, right?
yeah, on that topic, there are people out there who are making predictions about Trump. There is an astrologer in India. He had predicted that Trump would win, but also that he would be the last president of the United States as we know it. What do you believe is the future of the USA? Do you believe that America as we know it is going to be over?
So okay, so how to explain this? I don't actually know that. I haven't received it. And
Okay,
if I go
that's what I'm
looking for it,
asking. Yeah.
if I go looking for it, it goes away. If I try hard to get that information, it goes away. Like I said, like a transmitter, and you can't make the transmitter go like this. It only just sticks up one way.
And it
So I
receives
don't
one.
have a actual concrete prediction for that, what you're asking me, if that makes sense.
Okay. No, that makes
Similar
sense.
to, yeah, similar to Canadian.
And put Trump aside, there are a lot of changes happening in America right now and in the landscape of our socio-political lives. Do you have a prediction about how close this will reach towards the dystopia that we saw in The Handmaid's Tale? People are really scared.
Yeah, no, it's legitimately to be worried and nervous and because it's kind of weird. How's this going to play out? And I actually don't know. I kind of wish I do so I could help you guys, but I'm not told what's going to happen. So I do have a prediction from 2020 that said it's going to get tyrannical before it gets dystopian. And you can kind of see that playing out.
It already is.
Yeah, over the last, especially Canada too. Like oh my God, help us. You guys are like, help us. And I'm like, help us. Like
Right.
we both need help, right? But if you can go from a neutral place, you gotta just let it play out.
I mean, the fear is if we let it play out, when is it too late to get out
Yeah, that's where your intuition comes in. And also I was told there's gonna be a revolution
in the US?
everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah, a big revolution. Like people are finally going to wake up. I don't know what it takes to wake people up. Like you see all the people gathering in all these other cities and countries to protest.
Protesting.
right? And I keep saying, how come we're not doing this? Why isn't the States doing this? You guys got to wake up. We're not there yet. But I feel like a revolution actually is building, if that makes sense.
There's the part of it that's a revolution and a feeling that people have, or that psychics are predicting, that we need to stand up for our rights. That's one piece. But there's the other piece, which is the breakdown of law and order, right? And the fear for a lot of people living in New York City right now, myself included, is the grid going down.
Yes.
That is the big fear. You made a prediction about that. What did you see about the grid going
Yeah,
down?
I did. And this was a few years ago, I believe. I drew the world, and then there was some kind of contraption on top of it, and it was like the blackout. It was like the whole thing was just blacked out. The whole world went black. I've had that prediction for years. Like it would come up. Like I'll hear a song. So sometimes I hear songs to tell me when something is coming soon. I don't know what this is. I can't think of it right now. But there's a song about lights going out, and I'll hear that over and over on the radio, and that means it's gonna come sooner.
Wow. Are you prepping?
You know what? I did in the past. My supply is dwindled now because I've been prepping for years.
So the granola bars got eaten up.
Yeah, they're all gone. So my
Poor
husband makes
kids.
fun of me. Like, but I was at Costco the other day and I saw the guy with he had the big pushy, like the big cart. He had gloves on there. He had water. He had 50 things of toilet. I'm like, oh God, is that a sign I'm supposed to be doing that again? Like, but I did in the past.
I will tell you, even here in Manhattan, where nobody thinks about these things because nobody has the space to keep anything, and
Yeah.
everyone just thinks we're insulated, which is so unreal. The fear of the power grid has become the thing that's scaring people more than anything else. And I keep hearing in conversation that people are literally starting to prep. Now, if the grid were to go down, how are we going to get up to our 25th floor apartment anyway? We're going to be half dead by the time we get up there. Okay. And if we do get up there, we're not coming back down. We're all in terrible shape. I'll be honest with you. We're all perimenopausal. If we do get back down to the ground, then we're going to have to fight the guy at the deli for the last,
I
honey
know.
baked ham,
Typically, if I try to tune into that, what you're talking about, it doesn't seem like it would be a long, long time. Not that that's helpful. It
No,
wouldn't
it
be like
is.
30 days, 2 weeks to flatten the curve. Like, okay. You know what I mean? It doesn't feel like it would be, but I don't know if it's going to come at the same time or like different places at different times. Here's the thing with psychic stuff also is that you don't always get time. Like, when is this going to happen? I'm like, I don't know. It could
Well,
be
but I mean,
years. It could
honestly,
be tomorrow.
that something feels like it's going to happen.
Something big. When I just say something big is going to happen, I'm telling you something big is going to happen because I'm not the only one. Psychics to the side. I am not the only one that's sensing that.
Well, the World Health Organization, everyone's saying things are going to happen, right? And the idea of a massive blackout is one. The other idea people are talking about is another pandemic. Do you see
Yes.
another pandemic? And if so, do you see avian flu?
Okay, so I had a bird flu prediction like years ago.
I didn't see that. Okay.
Yeah, I do. I had it like, I don't know what year, 2021, maybe 2022, of the bird flu coming back. It's under the same thing as the Pope.
Okay.
Yeah, it was into one. Anyways, but then I noticed that the bird flu came back 2 or 3 times and nobody cares.
Well, it hasn't gotten that bad, or that broad. The question of a broad pandemic is the fear, right? The idea of society really being constrained again like that.
Yeah, again, so I don't have that information psychic wise, but energetically, that might spark a revolution. It's being orchestrated, whether it's the universe's plan, the evil people's plan, everything is orchestrated. I learned that in Peru. Everything is orchestrated, everything. And it's designed to either wake people up so they finally go, I'm not numb anymore. Because so many people are so numb. Something could bad and they'd be like, oh well, this child trafficking. Oh well. No one's doing anything about it because we're so numb, and that's what they wanted to happen, was to make us numb so we don't care anymore and we just stay on the phone.
Well, I just did an episode, 2 weeks ago with Jennifer Walter. She's a sociologist, and she went viral for talking about how the overwhelm is the point. So she looks at Naomi Klein's shock doctrine and basically drills it down and says, look, what we're missing here is there's a larger picture about the shock doctrine and how tyranny begins. And it's a playbook for dictators, right? Is that you shock people's systems so
Yes.
much
Yes.
that you think you're putting them into submission. But the most powerful part is the first part, where you overwhelm them with so much constant information that requires true processing that they don't have time to process it all. And everything feels immediate until nothing feels important anymore. And that's when the overwhelm creates
Yep.
the numbness that leads to
Yes.
the lack of action, which they are banking on.
That's what they planned, that the whole
Your
thing.
overwhelm is the point.
Yeah.
You have predicted correctly a river of blood or red
Yes.
water, which
Yes.
then showed up in Lima, Peru. Which predictions have made people, okay, aside from Trump, which predictions have made people the most angry? And what do you think it is that makes them so angry?
Worse than the Trump thing? Oh
Or
God.
was that the thing that made people most angry?
I'm trying to think. I mean, people get angry about it's more they're angry because it sounds ridiculous, maybe. Like that could never happen. By the way, psychic information is not logical. The
And
less
I don't think it
logical
was
the
meant
thing
to be.
is, the more likely it's going to happen. So like it's almost like the opposite of science, basically. I'm trying to think of one that's worse than the Trump one. Like anything about Trump, even the ones I did after, like because I would share their comments in the reel and
Yeah,
respond to the comments,
yeah.
even those ones would get a lot of hate too. Right now, I can't think of one worse than that.
How dare you react to people's responses? How dare you,
It's like
madam?
a social experiment at this point. Like, how can I present, even if I do a hashtag of Trump, I get nailed. Like, they're just
Kind of crazy.
I'm trying
They're
to think,
looking for the information. So to get
say
that
anything
anger.
that has like a fear base,
Okay.
anything that seems scary gets a lot of traction or like, but I can't think of one worse than the Trump one.
Have you made predictions for yourself or for your own family?
Interesting. That's a very good question. Yes. So it's very difficult for me to do it in the same way that I receive things for clients or the collective. But I have been shown things for my personal life and family. But again, it's usually either with the plant medicine because I'm looking for something. I'm looking for an answer. I just recently came back from Peru and we were gone in the Andes Mountains in a hut for 10 days in the middle of nowhere, poor living conditions. And we actually sat with, no, what's it called? Wachuma, which is San Pedro. So it's the cactus, and cactus has the psychedelic in it.
Right, right.
And there's 3 different versions of it. So we do 3 nightly ceremonies spread out over one. And that one I was actually able to see my youngest daughter's future, which I have been terrified my whole life that she was going to die early. I don't know why. And because I could never see her future. I can see my other kids' future.
Oh,
I
so
know
that
I
was
know what
what
my
made
kids
you
are going to
worry.
be when they grow up. But this kid, I had no idea. And I was terrified. So then in the hut, I saw her future. I was like, yeah, she's not going to die. Whoa. So like all the fear left. You know how moms have so much fear and worry about their kids,
Oh, every minute of every day. I'm worried
right?
right now.
But I was so lucky to be able to let that go.
Oh my,
I can't tell her, but I see her future now. So yes, I can, but it takes a lot of work to be able to get that. I feel like 10 pounds lighter. Like I
oh
was
my
carrying
God.
that fear around since she was born.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I actually saw how old I was going to live, the
Really?
age, my husband, because he's a firefighter. So of course you fear he's going to die too. He's not going to die.
Have any prediction or have you been given any prediction of how big your platform's going to grow, how many people you're going to be able to reach, how it's going to go?
No, I
Just the
have
feeling that
goals.
you have to
I
keep
have
going?
big goals for myself.
Okay, tell me a goal.
I've always, okay, it's going to sound very egotistical, but it's not because the intention behind it is to reach more people. My goal is to have my own TV show so that I'm able to help more people, right? So going from the social media thing to like out there,
Okay, I get that. I get that.
that's something that I would love to happen because you can help so many more people that way. And there have been opportunities, but I'm like, that's not it. It's not time.
Hey, I'm going to feel the need to put this right in there. I'm just going to slip it right in there because we both have daughters, which is never does a man on my podcast preface anything by saying, I don't want to sound egotistical. Always women do it. And I'm always
I
like,
know.
stop it
Okay,
right now. It's not
okay, we'll just start
egotistical,
over. I would
you
like to
know?
have my own TV show because I know that my intention is pure.
I love it. I love it.
That's my
And
goal.
even the intention is pure. They're not going to put that in either. Not to vilify men, but I'm saying they don't feel the need to couch it
Yeah.
in. So, on the topic of being unapologetic, I really kind of love that about your platform because I don't reach out to just anyone. I reach out to people. I don't have a huge platform. I'm working on it. I'm hoping this turns into something bigger because this is really a second career for me. I spent 25 years in real estate and private equity and finance. And so now I'm doing this and I'm working on another book. I've written 4, but you've never heard of them. I'm working on my 5th and hoping that one takes off. I'm hoping my
Wow.
podcast takes off. But I
Yeah.
decided very much to just follow where my energy draws me. And it draws me towards people who I think have been through things that make them want to live very authentically in this moment. So if this moment for you is sharing your gift and like every day fighting to be unapologetic about it and dancing, then I want you on my podcast, right? It's not just because of the predictions, it's because of the way that you're presenting to the world.
Yeah.
I'm not just interested in famous people, I'm interested in
Yeah.
interesting people.
It took a while to get here. Like I kind of always been like that kind of goofy, kind of don't really care what you think, but still kind of do. And I think since I turned 50 or maybe like couple years going out, that's gone. I'm like, I don't give a shit. Like I'm just gonna act like a goof. Like it's just anyways, I've always been like this. So
See,
whatever you
but I love that because then when you know that if you're putting out that energy, a woman like me is gonna see your dancing and think, I would have been friends with her in middle school. She'd have been super fun. Like that's what I thought. I was like, she would have been super fun in middle school.
Yeah. People like always say that about me. Like I feel like we're friends, and
Yeah.
I feel like even if we're in a reading or whatever, like I talk to you as you're my friend. You know, even on Instagram, I try to talk as if we're friends and relate. Not try to be relatable, just to like be myself.
Yeah,
And
but
there's
you're
so
not
many.
being formal. You're not
Yeah.
formalizing what you're doing.
No.
You're trying to get the information out and then saying like, do with it what you will. And your energy feels to me like, I hope you're okay. Trump's
Yeah.
gonna be president. I hope you're okay.
Well, that's what I think I said that. I'm like, I don't know if you're gonna like this or not. Wait, I really don't want to make you upset. Right? That's my own little kid thing in here. It's like, I don't want to make anyone mad at me. I don't know, but then I learned that you can't actually control how people are going to perceive you or they're like you or not. And you have to let that go at some point.
And we never could.
Yeah.
Well, my last question for you is more philosophical, which is
Okay.
what is it about having this gift, admitting this gift, and sharing this gift that has been the hardest part of the journey for you?
People allowing people to doubt myself. They so, so many people have made me doubt myself, my gift. I would say also when I first came out of the spiritual closet, I announced I was going to be doing readings. There was a lot of backlash from other mediums and psychics in the area. One of them actually, there's hate mail. I got two pieces of hate mail, separate.
Saying you're not real
Yeah. The first one just said, "You are a fraud." That's all it said.
based on,
I have no idea. Seeing me like on Facebook, I don't know.
I saw you getting a latte the other day, you're a fraud. Like, based on what?
I have no idea. "You are a fraud." That's all it said. They took a really nice I remember there was owls on the envelope and very nice handwriting, and my husband got the mail, and he was like, "Something's weird about this. I don't know if I wanna give this to you," because he just had a weird feeling, and he's like, "I knew it. I knew it wasn't good mail. I knew something was wrong with this mail," right?
I don't love that they had your address.
I know that's scary, eh?
I don't love that.
They knew where I lived. Two separate pieces of hate mail. One of the local mediums bashed me online for just because she said I shouldn't be doing because I'm not ready. They wrote an article about me in a published magazine. Like, I
What?
would never do that to another woman. Like, never. I have never said their names. It's that negativity I would think would be the hardest. The
Rather than just
bullying.
reaching out to you separately and saying, hope you don't take this the wrong way. I myself am a psychic. You have to be very careful about when you come out.
But that's what I mean. The hardest part is also me seeing how people, I don't know, maybe don't love themselves. If you loved yourself, you would not be mean to another human being. You would not bully someone. You're not 5. You're 40 something. Like that's been the hardest thing is trying to separate the negativity and not take it personally, which I have a very hard time with. It's getting easier. Maybe I'm getting immune to it, which is terrible, but that's the hardest thing is taking things personally and learning how not to do that because it's their garbage. It's their
It's a
garbage.
delicate balance because when you put yourself in this day and age, it seems to be really important to put ourselves out there on social media.
Yeah.
And the
Yes.
minute you are visible, you're opening yourself up to hate. So it's not enough to be good at the
Yeah.
thing. You have to be good at the thing, and then you have to learn a whole other skill set around being zen when people are screaming at you.
Yeah, it's the hate and the threatening that's I draw the line at. You can be a jerk or whatever, but there's a line kind of that gets crossed. And of course, I understand when you get out there and people know you're going to get more attention. It won't always be. But there's a lot of positivity behind the scenes. There's a lot of people who support me, and they don't always get to have their name shown or whatever. But I'm so grateful for everyone who's very positive, and they send me so much love. And it's kind of like I kind of go, what? What do you mean you like me so much? Or they'll say I'm a fan. I'm like, you're talking to me? Like,
You're
dude, I'm
like, of
just,
which? Of who? Of that
who
guy?
are you talking to?
On what?
It's kind of weird, but like, it's beautiful to see. There's a lot of love too.
Thing I like to do every once in a while if I see someone who I think seems like good people, um, getting a lot of hate online, and then I'll just go, or counterpoint, why are you so pretty and smart? Cut it out. Stop giving me inspiration. Or
Yes.
something like that, right?
Yeah.
And then there'll be thousands of likes on my comment. And you know that the person's like,
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like I want to focus on the positive,
yeah.
which is
Or
what the dancing
counterpoint.
comes in, right? Positive dancing is like, so what? You're goofy, but at least it's positive, which is what we need more in this world is more positive and joy and light.
I love it. Love what you're doing. I love that it's coming from a place of just wanting to share something and not scare anyone. And I will definitely be booking a session with you.
Well, thank you so much.